What's up, y'all? I figured it was finally time to do a review on the welded differential that I put in this car. Let's talk about it. The goods, the bads, the uglies, all of in betweens. The goods is the car slide's awesome. The car really does have a lot of consistency in drift, even consistency in cornering, right? Because you can really feel where that slip moment is, or the slip angle of the tires. So you get a really good feel for that. That's about the only good to it, though, if I'm going to be honest with you. The bads, it is really, really hard to manage in parking lots. It makes a ton of noise. My drivetrain, as I'm going and I have that tire skipping, you hear this resonance through the whole drivetrain that just sounds like this big chatter almost. And because of that, it makes you feel like that. So there's a cop coming. This should be funny. Sorry. So because of that, there is this aspect of it that makes it feel like the car is almost broken. And I know the car's not broken. It's got brand new drivetrain. Nothing on it's wrong. It's just one of those things that, okay, cool, he kept on going. I bet he comes back this way, though. Maybe he's a cool cop. For once, we're not doing anything wrong, so I'm happy to talk to them. So overall, the car does really, really well. It still corners well, minus a little bit of understeer. It feels good in a straight line. It should. You know, the rear end's tied together now. It's still a fun driving car. There is just those couple nuances that make it less than ideal in, you know, your typical daily driving situations like traffic and parking lots and stuff like that. So it's pretty much, if you're going to continue to daily the car, it is doable. I've done it for the past, 4 months or so, and it's more than doable. But it will get on your nerves. There'll be times where you want the car to be more friendly to you, and then you stall it, or something happens where it puts you in a bit of a bind. Nothing too dramatic, just enough to annoy you, right? And what more reason do you need to change something other than it annoys you? So the welded diff is awesome. It's held up great. It is leaking a little bit of fluid, but I think that I'll have either the open diff back in it or an LSD setup in it before too long, so I'm not really worried about the leak in it. The new drivetrain on it feels really, really good. It still feels solid, and all of the chatter that I hear in the drivetrain is the same chatter that I've heard from when it was brand new and had the welded diff. So I think it's just some function of that welded diff creating a harmonic through the drivetrain that you can hear. It just is difficult to drive in conjunction with the clutch that I have, where it bites so hard and has such a little engagement zone. If you aren't really, really up on the revs, you get this circumstance where it pulses, and you're either hearing a drivetrain chatter or you are feeling a pulse. There's really no in between, and then once you get up into RPM, everything's fine. But until you get to that point, it feels like you're just fighting the car a lot. So that's the bad. I guess that's kind of part of the ugly as well. Maybe the ugly is I really think it's going to break the drivetrain extremely quick. Everyone that I've talked to about welded diffs and stuff, they're like, no, my axles don't break any more than they normally do. No, my drive shaft doesn't break any more than it normally does. I don't see how that's possible. If I'm just being real, the amount of noise that I have out of it and the beating that it sounds like it's taking when I'm doing stuff, there's just no way that it's not damaging stuff. So it's a way, a cost to benefit type thing. You have the fun and the consistency of it in slide, or you have some comfort attached to it. You really don't get both. I wasn't expecting to have both, but I was hoping for a little bit more comfort than I'm currently getting. So if you're gonna weld your diff, I think it's a wonderful thing that can get you into drifting with that car really quickly. But if you plan to continue to drive the car, just be aware that it's going to be a bit annoying, and it might create circumstances where you dislike driving the car. So weigh that out, make your own personal decision. If it's gonna be a track car, weld that thing, and you'll never look back. But just be mindful that there is some consequence to it. Would I do it again? 100%, because it got me to an event. It's got me a lot more practice and consistency in my practicing. So I do think it was a beneficial tool. But long term, I do not see myself having a welded diff on this car or welding a diff on any other car unless it was a pure track drift car, because outside of that, it's not useless, but it's just not cohesive to that type of driving. And I don't want to limit a car to a specific type of driving if I don't have to. I can tailor it to do specific things, but I don't want to take away from it if I don't have to. And that's kind of, I feel like I've taken its ability to be comfortable and drive efficiently away a little bit, and I just don't really like that. So that's kind of what's pushing me away from the welded differential. That and the plan to have a dedicated track car, of course. I know, no drifting today in the video. I'm just as upset as you are. I do not have any more rear tire left on these tires, and then the 2 other sets of spares that I have, I went through at the drift event and then have gone through since then, just goofing off around town. So because of that, no drifting. I have purchased a new set of wheels. It's taking longer for them to get here than they originally quoted me. I'm not going to slander any names because they are being responsive to me in their emails, and although they're late, they're still being very upfront and transparent about what the issues are and what they're trying to do, basically. So I have wheels on the way. They are I think they're being drilled this upcoming Monday for my lug pattern. So once that happens, they'll then ship. I've already got the new tires for the wheels. So new wheels and tires will be here soon, which then means we can go back to sliding around. But you'll just have to bear with me of no shenanigans today. I hope that you got something from, this little, my take on a welded differential. Hopefully it helps you make a more informed decision whenever you are deciding whether to do a welded differential or not. So appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time.